Games, Braindead A Head-Banging Life with 10 things we love about Braindead, the Peter Jackson directed splatterfest. Very, very famous, also known as Dead Alive, of course.
Yeah.
Because Braindead was another title in America. More people seem to know this as Dead Alive than they do Braindead, I must say.
Yeah.
As always, we have 10 things we love. And of course, another video later on, 10 things we hate. We will get started with the love. Go on then.
I'll get started. The silly love story.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a really fun element. It ties quite a lot of things together throughout the film, and it's played really well by the two of them. Sort of lovesick sort of woman who wants to kind of believe in true love, putting her hopes and dreams in tarot cards and stuff like that.
Yep.
I really like that.
I've got something similar, and I've got Lionel and Paquita. They're an endearing couple with very little time to develop their relationship, but it works.
Yeah.
Like you kind of buy into it because they're both likable characters.
Yeah.
But you buy into it, you believe it. It's good fun. It's nice. I agree with you.
Yeah.
There's I have that one as well. Their relationship compared to other movies, they've got great chemistry.
Yeah.
That makes it believable. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can believe that she's more kind of, not experienced is not the word, but more romantically.
Worldly.
Yeah, more.
She's more worldly.
Yeah, more romantically inclined as well than him. He's kind of a bit of a recluse almost because of his mum and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that element.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the accents, the whole New Zealand accent.
Okay.
And it's when we sit down for like horror films and it's like Australian or New Zealand. I'm always like well up for it more than other films.
Okay.
I feel like their sensibilities and the accent just makes me kind of get more involved in like a tongue-in-cheek silly film.
Really? Okay.
Do you know?
I don't have that.
No, I think sometimes their laid-back attitude from like Australia, New Zealand fits well to like horror and stuff like that.
You haven't seen enough Australian, New Zealand horrors than I have. This is an early. I think this is more synonymous with an early Peter Jackson work. We've seen other movies as well. You know.
But I feel like New Zealand accent lends well to some of the dialogue spoken.
Fair enough.
I feel.
All right, my next one then. Let's get this out of the way because you'll have it. So let's get it out of the way, and it's simply the overall level of gore.
Oh yeah, that's mine. Exactly,
Of course it is.
Exactly my one.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Get out of the way.
Over the top.
This is famous splatter. Gore splatter movie. It is insane. There are facts about the amount of blood that was used. It is visceral, violent, over the top, very realistic looking at times while being incredibly stupid. This is one of the goriest movies you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, I love that. If you're gonna do something, just go balls in.
Yep.
All over the top of it.
It really did. And you had that one too, yeah?
Yeah.
Right then. I'll go again. And tying into that as well, it's going to be an obvious one that you'll have. The effects.
Yeah.
Of course. One thing about all this blood and gore is all good and proper, but if it looked like shit, it wouldn't work. This movie, I generally marvel at. For its time, for its release, the level of effects, what they managed to do, in not just regards to the blood and visceral, chunky gore and stuff like that, but the practical effects of the violence and everything like that. This is an incredibly well done movie.
To jump out is the nurse when her head flies back on her neck.
Very good one, yep.
And when the man punches through the back of the head.
Very good.
Yeah, the two just jump out like that is to make it look that visceral and real. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
There's even more when the baby rips open her skull and is inside it, and that to the zombie that ends up with the light inside her head.
Oh yeah.
These are all incredible effects. Yeah, particularly if you can I'd say as well, get past the first part of the effects when you see the stop motion Cemeterian monkey.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't look too great.
No.
But his mother eating the dog and it being pulled out of her throat. This is all incredibly impressive stuff. Yeah. The effects and they hold up by 2020 standards. Yeah.
So
I'll go again. We get the same one. Of course, another one you probably have. The general silliness of it all. Braindead is loved and will forever be loved, I believe, because it did a very important thing. When this is not to be taken seriously. Do not take this seriously. Yeah. Even if we're having a serious scene, it will be punctuated by something slapstick or silly either side of it. That might grate some people, particularly at the start. I think at the start, that silliness is grating.
Yeah.
But as it develops, it becomes endearing.
Yeah.
And be it Lionel's almost flailing about as he moves around, to the close-up camera shots of noise and effects, to like the sped-up part at the end where Len is chopping up the zombies. This this is stuff becomes endearing. It embraces it, and it's better for it.
Yeah. I had that one. So the comedy horror balance gets it right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right. As we keep doubling up, I'll keep going. Maybe you probably have this one. Timothy Balm, who plays Lionel. Timothy Balm is great in this. I think he does a wonderful, wonderful job. It's great to see him. I've seen stuff where he's older. I'm like, holy shit, that's Lionel. Yeah, I think he plays this part wonderfully, wonderfully well. From the put upon mummy's boy to the attracted. Oh, I'm really attracted to this mysterious kind of worldly woman. To his frustration with his mother, to what happens at the end and things like that. I think he's really, really good. He's a hero you can get behind. Yeah.
I didn't have him as specifically, but
cool.
I do love him. I put the great one-liners.
Okay, all right.
They've quoted quite a lot. Is it I kick ass for the Lord?
Okay.
Your mother ate my dog. Just really silly kind of things like that. Really punctuate how kind of over the top silly it is.
Yeah.
So I had that as well.
That's cool. I mean, I've got one line, which is one that tickled me so much when I was younger as a kid. I remember when I saw this film when I was a youngster, and it made me laugh so much, which is that I kick ass for the Lord, said by Father Magruder. And that made me laugh so much as a kid. And it always what sticks in my head when I think of Braindead. That. And even
Mine's the dog one.
Yeah, I was about to say that is another one as well. Not all of it.
It's so well done.
I kick ass for the Lord.
So my next one is having it set in the 50s. It made the party scene more fun because you could have the whole rock and roll dancing around.
True.
Because it kind of made it. I don't know. I guess it kind of gave another element of silliness as well. Having because you have all the 50s fashions, and I quite like that bit because there's so many horror films and zombie films set in like 90s and 80s. Taking it back to the 50s gave it never a little niche of its own. So I quite like that. Yeah,
the setting works. I have no problem with it at all. Absolutely. Not one of mine though. I have another character or actress as it, and it's Elizabeth Moody, who's Lionel's mother in it. I think she's fucking excellent. She might be the best thing in the movie overall. She's someone you love to hate. Like, you can see the manipulative behaviour. She doesn't deserve what happens to her. She doesn't. But she brings it on herself to a degree. She's someone you love to hate. I think Elizabeth Moody is fantastic. The bed scene where she's first getting sick, lying there, oh, you're so good to me. Oh, what did I do to deserve such attention? It's just like, the bit where she's walking through the house and like with a knife as well, like layers of dust and the lawn and all that. Yeah. She's excellent.
She's good. So I did more of a niche one. I said I covered all the actors. I said that really well acted. Just everyone has their roles, like the creepy uncle that comes along, and the sleaze bag uncle. Just everyone just has their part played really well.
Absolutely, and I will give a lot of credit as well to these actors as well. A lot of them would then also go from being human characters to mindless zombie characters, and did that perfectly in prominent roles. Just look at someone like the man that plays Father Magruder. What he had to do to begin with, and then what he became. I find that excellent. Yeah, brilliant. Another thing I love is, and it's simply put, it's weirdly, I'm not ashamed to say that this movie still grosses me out. This still grosses me out. Yeah. It still has moments where I'm left feeling, I am not, I can watch all horror, but one that really gets me, still turns my stomach, is body horror. Be it a melting thing or skin being stripped off and stuff like that. Visceral like that, it will make me go, oh. It still works to this day. Braindead has many scenes like that. Who isn't grossed out about the pus in the custard scene? Like, that is just so disgusting. The zombie that rips the face off that man. These are some pretty So
I've put its legacy and impact. So again, like I say, its impact is still now. You still remember those scenes. When you watch them, they're still disgusting.
Yep.
Like, because my dad used to always talk about the scene with the lawnmower. And obviously, when I finally watched the film, much to my mum's disgust, I was like, yeah, this was amazing. And obviously, now you still love it as much as you did back then. So some films don't age as well. But this one, I'm like, I still love watching it. Yeah,
same here. And, you brought it up as well. I've just covered the entire finale in one. The entire finale, so the last 20 to 30 minutes. It's a good movie up to that. It's a very good movie. And what the fuck, my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. From the entire party scene to the end, it is constant. It is constant. And every time you think you've seen one extra thing, it goes that extra bit further. And there's even moments where it's constantly in threat. It's funny done. Lionel running on one spot on the blood, and it leaves them stepping grossly on crunching bodies. Obviously, the lawnmower scene is just absolutely fucking. And even then, you're not done because then you get giant mother.
Oh,
you know, the entire finale. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was I think that's my last one. The final act is so over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
you can't not love it.
Yeah.
You can't not love it.
Yeah.
Whatever you think you've seen in horror, if you've never seen Braindead, you're in for a treat. Whatever you think you've seen in horror, whatever you think you've seen, this is a cut above. It truly is. And my last one, it's just simply still flabbergasting, still hilarious, and still something to absolutely adore. That the man who directed and created Braindead, Peter Jackson, bear this in mind, Braindead would go on to become a respected filmmaker responsible for the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah.
When you look at the back catalogue, not just Braindead, but his earlier stuff, and then we got to the mid-90s and he did The Frighteners, which is a good movie in itself. And then he would go on to do Lord of the Rings, King Kong, let's call it The Hobbit. Yeah. It's insane. And that, I think, is constantly something to just love, to show filmmakers as well. Your early work doesn't necessarily, shouldn't be embarrassed or ashamed about.
No. It's like part of your catalogue.
It might get you attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's easy. It's an easy movie to love, and it's still something I thoroughly enjoy. And
the same with the later films, I feel like that whole sense of epicness. It sounds silly, but in a different kind of genre. So with horror, you went over the top. With Lord of the Rings, you put everything into something, you'll get the best out of it.
Yeah. 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 There you go. 10 Things We Love About Braindead. Make sure you check out 10 Things We Hate. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/GBHBL, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?